Thanks for joining us. The federal government will not accept any new applications this year from people who want to sponsor their parents and grandparents to come to Canada. The Immigration Department says the change is part of an effort to responsibly manage the system. There are 60,500 applications in progress already, and the government expects to approve 15,000 parents and grandparents in each of the next 2 years from those existing files. It will not accept new applications for this year in an effort to reduce wait times, which average about 3 years. The program was launched in 2020 when more than 200,000 permanent residents and citizens expressed interest in sponsoring a parent or grandparent to come to Canada. The pause on accepting new applications is in effect until further notice. Meantime, south of the border, U.S. President Donald Trump says ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement, should continue traffic stops to check for illegal immigrants. This seemingly contradicts a new policy to halt them. We get more from Marissa Duhaney with the Associated Press.
In a Truth Social post, Trump said, quote, "The men and women of ICE are doing a great job, one that has to be done." He also said that in order to remove criminals he claims were let into the country under the previous Democratic administration, we cannot give up on one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop. But it comes after Trump administration officials told ICE officers to suspend most vehicle stops after 2 deadly shootings within a week. The suspension was ordered after an ICE officer shot and killed a Colombian driver in Maine, and a week after another officer shot and killed a motorist in Houston. The deaths renewed criticism of the agency's enforcement tactics that were widely condemned last winter after the killings of Alex Preddy and Renee Good in Minnesota.
At least 10 people have been killed during immigration operations since the start of the Trump administration's mass deportation campaign. After years of debate and changes to the proposals, France has joined Canada and several other nations in legalizing medically assisted death, or MAID. In the bill, which had been rejected 3 times by France's upper house of parliament, it passed by a vote of 291 to 241. Medically assisted death will be available to adults over the age of 18 with a serious and incurable life-threatening illness. We get more on this from John Lester with the Associated Press.
It has taken years of debate for France, a traditionally Catholic country, to get to this point. Opponents worry that older people and people with disabilities could be pressured into considering assisted dying. Lawmakers have built safeguards into the bill. It would apply only to people with serious, life-threatening and incurable illnesses that are in an advanced or terminal stage and who are experiencing pain that cannot be relieved with palliative care or is unbearable. They also have to demonstrate that they're seeking lethal medication of their own free will. People with severe psychiatric disorders or neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's, would not be eligible. Once approved by healthcare professionals, people will be able to take lethal medication at a time and place of their choosing, including at home. If they wish, they'll also be able to have their loved ones around them.
The Catholic Church is among those that have opposed the legislation, with one bishop threatening to deny communion to lawmakers who support it. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer fielded questions, criticism, and even a bit of praise from lawmakers in the House of Commons for the last time Wednesday before he leaves office next week. Starmer bid farewell during a weekly event called Prime Minister's Questions. We get more from Associated Press reporter Luke Garrett.
Prime Minister's Questions is a weekly ritual in British politics where the leader answers questions from opposition party leaders and others on topics they don't know in advance, with often boisterous results. But Starmer's last session was a gentler affair, a mix of seriousness and political criticism, personal tributes and jokes as he defended his record in government.
And after 2 years, we've stabilised the economy, we have invested heavily in our public services, we've put better protections in for children, particularly on child poverty, we've strengthened our defence and we've enhanced our international reputation. I'm proud to leave this country in a better shape than I found it.
After 2 years in power following a landslide election, he will stand down on Monday and hand over power to new Labour Party leader Andy Burnham. His farewell ended with a standing ovation from all sides of the chamber and a message to his family and the people of Britain.
To all those in the gallery whose lives have been changed or improved by this Labour government, and all across the country who struggle to be seen or heard, you're the reason I came into politics. To my wife and children, I love you. Goodbye.
In other news, smoke from wildfires in northwestern Ontario is drifting south and choking the skies over southern Ontario. A smoky haze is hanging over the city of Toronto. Environment Canada says the poor air quality may last until tomorrow in some areas and warns that common symptoms of smoke inhalation, including throat irritation, headache, and cough. Several First Nations communities in northwestern Ontario are under mandatory evacuation orders due to forest fires. The poor air quality comes as large swaths of Ontario are dealing with the second day of a heat wave. And while we're talking about wildfires, some Canadian National Railway employees filmed this video from inside their locomotive near Armstrong, Ontario on Monday as they were surrounded by flames from a wildfire. Check this out.
Oh, it's all right. This kind of burnt off, so we'll be okay now.
Yeah, it went across the whole.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look over there.
We were surrounded.
You guys got a light now or what? Did you guys get that light? Oh yeah, they're clipping. Whew! That's a meat and a half, eh?
CN Rail says work crew members all got out safely. Ontario NDP MPP Sol Mamakwa, who posted the video, says CN needs to be held accountable for having trains operating in that area during the fires. CN has since said it has temporarily suspended rail operations near Armstrong. Lethbridge police say there was a flurry of traffic violations and public complaints stemming from illegal gatherings this past weekend during the popular Street Machine event. LPS says 257 tickets were issued primarily for speeding, stunting, and equipment violations. 70 warnings were for open liquor consumption were handed out alongside 2 immediate roadside sanction failures. 7 vehicles were towed, 1 driver was suspended, and 2 arrests were made. However, LPS says the most concerns came from several unofficial gatherings on the nights of July 10th and 11th, which attracted thousands of people and involved some unruly activity.
There was a few instances that we had that were getting out of control, and there were unsanctioned events held by people in private parking lots. We tried to get rid of those people. We managed to clear out some of them, but some of the events were just too large that we could even get into the areas, basically. So yeah, that was a first for us this year on that. So hopefully next year we could mitigate that issue. If you're at a sanctioned event like the 100-foot dash, it's basically you could race your car. Like you could do whatever you want. You could do a burnout there. Everything's basically legal at those events, but you can't do that on the street. So we encourage people to go to these events. If you want to race your car, do a burnout, go to the 100-foot, do drag racing at the airport on those sanctioned events, but you can't do it on the street. And next year, we're going to be speaking with the business owners in that area where the concerns were. We could either get private security or basically block off the road so there's no access to them next year.
Police say overall attendance has risen in recent years, and they've responded with a heightened presence and resources alongside assistance from Alberta sheriffs and the Blood Tribe Police Service. Lethbridge police were conducting a high-risk incident this afternoon in North Lethbridge. A residence along the 2000 block of 7th Avenue North was searched at around 1:30 p.m. The circumstances behind the search remain unknown currently, but video shows animal services assisting in seizing multiple dogs from the side yard of the home in 2 vehicles. Police have since made an update confirming that public use of the area may resume, and the investigation is ongoing. No further information is expected to be released at this time. The Bringing Hearts Home campaign has reached and surpassed its fundraising goal of $30 million. Campaign organizers announced the milestone Wednesday, while also recognizing a $500,000 leadership gift from G. Thompson Livestock Company. BCN's Heidi Echevarria has more.
The campaign, launched in September 2024, was originally set to end in January 2027. Instead, support from across southern Alberta helped surpass its fundraising goal 6 months early.
To have reached our goal in 24 months versus our 30-month target is unheard of. There are people who want to continue to support.
The campaign will continue to welcome community support through January 2027, even though it has already exceeded its fundraising goal.
The fundraising is the one piece of it, and then we have the project itself. The government of Alberta has partnered, and they have committed to $59 million over the next 3 years towards the total estimated $445 million project. We're now going into the design phase of the project itself.
The doctor leader for the Cardiac Center says surpassing the fundraising goal shows the strong community support behind the project.
We are over our $30 million goal. Before even the campaign started, people were like, oh, this is perhaps too ambitious, but this has been record-setting. What matters the most, I think, is that this translates into saving lives.
Wednesday's announcement also recognized a $500,000 gift from G. Thompson Livestock. Founder Glenn Thompson says the donation reflects the dedication of the company's employees while helping bring advanced cardiac care closer to home.
And I was one of those people that actually had to drive to Calgary 7 or 8 times just to get my heart condition fixed. And I realized the families that have to travel out of southern Alberta, I'm surely not alone. It meant a lot to me, and I listened to her vision, and I went, this is an absolute worthy project.
Heidi Chavarria, Bridge City News.
Thanks so much, Heidi. Lethbridge Fire and Emergency Services has lifted the boating advisory for the Old Man River and St. Mary River effective immediately. The advisory was issued on July 2nd due to elevated river flows and hazardous conditions. Since then, water levels and flow rates have decreased, allowing normal recreational activities on and around the river to resume. While conditions have improved, river users should continue to exercise caution. Water temperatures remain cold and reduced visibility can make submerged hazards difficult to see. Current river flow information is available at rivers.alberta.ca. With daytime temperatures in the high 20s this week and even reaching the 30s, it's still important to stay hydrated. To help with that, the annual Lethbridge Water Drive is now underway. The initiative encourages residents to donate bottled water or money to help vulnerable people access safe drinking water during the summer months. The campaign runs until August 31st, and supports frontline organizations assisting people experiencing homelessness and others at risk during periods of extreme heat.
We have 3 places where those donations can happen. They are the Interfaith Food Bank, the Lethbridge Food Bank, and the Streets Alive mission. Dehydration is a real thing. When one is dehydrated and living outside in this heat, one's health can suffer enormously. The gift of a bottle of water to hydrate allows people to think more clearly, to operate more cleverly, and just go about their day with that absolute basic need of hydration being satisfied. We are hitting this very, very hot weather. We anticipate hot weather for the next couple of months, and it is absolutely vital. So that small generosity makes such an enormous difference and impact in someone's life.
Community members can support the campaign by organizing a workplace, school, or neighborhood water collection drive and share information about the campaign through social media. The Bank of Canada held its benchmark interest rate steady at 2.25% for a 6th consecutive decision today. Governor Tiff Macklem said the current policy rate is at the right level to return inflation to 2% and support an economic recovery. The central bank says Canada's economy is showing signs of improvement, but risks remain tied to the Middle East war and U.S. trade policy.
We have 3 key messages. First, after stalling over the past year, economic growth looks to have resumed in Canada. While U.S. trade policy continues to be a headwind, consumers have been resilient and businesses are adapting. Second, inflation in Canada is poised to ease, provided global oil prices decline from elevated levels. And third, uncertainty remains high. The conflict in the Middle East has re-escalated in recent days. and trade discussions with the United States remain ongoing. Based on the NPR projection published today, Governing Council judges the current policy rate remains appropriate to sustain the economic recovery and bring inflation back to the 2% target. However, uncertainty is still high. Governing Council will continue to assess the strength of the Canadian economy and the outlook for inflation, and is prepared to adjust monetary policy as needed.
If you've made summer travel plans with WestJet, there is cause for concern. WestJet flight attendants have voted 99% in favor of a strike that could see thousands of workers walk off the job in less than 3 weeks. About 250 WestJet flight attendants stood back to back in front of the airline's Calgary headquarters Tuesday to send a message to the company about wages.
We've been bargaining for 11 months and we haven't been able to reach an agreement with the company. Our primary concerns are around wages, how our wages trigger, and our working conditions. The way things are going, it's not working, and we want to get a deal at the bargaining table, so please show up and provide us with meaningful proposals that actually reflect our contributions to the organization's success. We're the largest work group, the longest touch point, safety-sensitive position. The way we're compensated, it's not working, and our membership spoke overwhelmingly on this issue. This issue is not new. 3.5 years ago, we launched a campaign called Unpaid Work Won't Fly. The company has had 3.5 years to prepare for this. There's absolutely no reason that we should have to go out on strike. It's not something flight attendants want. It's absolutely the last things we want to do to our passengers, our guests, to interrupt their travel plans.
A potential strike could happen as early as Sunday, August 2nd. And now, here's a look at today's markets.
The TSX was up 95 points on the day to 35,416. The Dow was up 150 to 52,658. The S&P 500 was up 28 to 7572, and the Nasdaq was up 162 points to finish at 26,269. West Texas Intermediate oil was up 86 cents to $80.20 U.S. per barrel. Natural gas was up 2 cents to $2.92 U.S. Gold was up 5.81 to 40.6011 U.S. an ounce, and silver was down 89 cents to 57.78 U.S. an ounce. Feed wheat is at $8.44 per bushel. Barley is at $6.73. Canola is at $17.90, and corn is at $7.82 per bushel. Live cattle August contract was down $1.30 to $231.43. Feeder cattle's August contract was up $1.15 to $349.30. Lean hogs were up 8 cents to 95.18. And the Canadian dollar was up slightly over the past 24 hours to 71.20 US.
Recapping one of our top stories today, people who want to sponsor their parents or grandparents to come to Canada will have to wait until next year. The Immigration Department won't accept any more of those applications this year in an effort to manage the system and reduce wait times. More than 60,000 applications are already in progress, with processing wait times roughly 3 years and up to more than 5 years in Quebec. There's been controversy over the province making changes to the Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped, or AISH program. Disabled Albertans who have been classified as able to work have been switched over to the Alberta Disability Assistance Program, or ADAP. Many do not like this transition. Nathan Neudorf, Minister of Assisted Living and Social Services, joins us to bring some clarity to the controversial changes. His interview is coming right up next. Also, when you see news happening in your community, be sure to send us an email at info@bridgecitynews.ca. You can also visit our website or YouTube channel anytime to check out more of our content and our poll questions.